Okay, so in this video, I want to just talk about Magic the Gathering, really, how I got into it, where I'm at with it now, where I want to be with it, starting off quick and easy. My best friend, Luke, he got me into it around like 2021 at this point, start of college. I don't exactly remember the details, but I just remember him kind of being like, hey, like me and my brother are playing this cool card game and it's fun, you should try it out. And I was like, okay. Like at that point I didn't really know what Magic was. I remember like when I was super young, I found like some Magic cards in like my uncle's like moving boxes and I had no idea what they were. I just really remember like the back of them, and at that point in time, zero clue. I was like 7 or 8 maybe, and like the only thing that was clocking to me was Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. I was super into Yu-Gi-Oh when I was younger, so yeah, he got me into it because his brother and him just started playing. And what I really remember about it, like what I really liked about it was, when we first started playing, it was cool to learn how big the game was, how vast like the rules were. And I mean, even now sometimes when we're playing like 5 years in, there's some interactions will come by and be like, how does this work? So it's like we're always learning, but back then it was like a mass flood of knowledge. He got me into Commander. That's what I mainly play now as well. I don't exactly remember like what I first played with, but I do know the first card I bought, which I still have right here, Nicol Bolas, the Ravager. At this point in time, I remember we went to our local like game store. What really kind of captivated me as well about Magic then was like the lore. I didn't get super deep into it, but I did know that, like there are different planes and planeswalkers can move throughout planes, and it's like sort of like different universes, but it's all in the same universe, and in between planes is Eldrazi, and there are some big villains and big heroes, and like the main two that really like appealed to me were Nicol Bolas and Ugin. And so I remember seeing this card at the game shop, and at that time it was like I think $25, which I do not regret it. And it was a very fun experience, and I really enjoyed like learning about the lore. And what I did with Nicol Bolas, my first commander deck was him as my commander. I really tried to format it around like lore wise. I tried to put like Liliana Vestas in there. I tried to put Tezzerets because I think they're more seen as like bad guys. I have Disciple of Bolas. There's a few other cards in there that are Nicol Bolas related that I wanted to throw in just because it was like, it's on theme. Yeah, I just remember, building out that deck, going on Card Kingdom, just looking at cards. I remember in classes as well, I'd have my little like laptop and I'd sit in the back of the class and I'd just like go on EDH Rec searching like best synergies for these commanders, and I was just super deep into deck building with the Nicol Bolas deck that I made. The first like big memory of playing Magic with Luke I have is he was living off campus at the time and I was living on campus, and he invited me over to kind of hang out and play. This was still kind of in like my play testing era of Nicol Bolas. He was playing Yuriko, I think Sakashima something, where it's like all based off ninjas, 10 to 15 games in a row, back to back to back. And after each game, I would kind of go through my deck and be like, I had this card in my hand the entire game and it didn't do anything for me. Let's take it out and throw something else in. It was just pure like play testing, really. It was like, this doesn't work, this does work. I was just super enthralled with the whole deck building process, and like it was just like a big formula, a big massive equation that like you're formulating to get the best answer, and it was just so much fun getting into it. Kind of where I'm at with it now is like I'm still super enthralled with it. I love like with the cards I do have, I love like organizing them, cataloging them. Like I have this app, Mana Box, that I can just scan into, create different like folders for. I remember I bought Play Booster box of War of the Spark, and so I can catalog all of those cards into a specific binder of War of the Spark. Super fun. I just like having a organized, at this point from the start to now, it's been a while. It's been about 5 years. And so I've built quite a few commander decks at this point. I think in total, I probably built 10, 12, 13, somewhere around there, which, I'm sure other people have bare minimum 20 and whatnot. But, I do really enjoy deck building. I just haven't done it in a while. The magic of Magic is kind of not like lost, but I haven't grasped it for a while. But anyways, my current goals for like Magic is, I think I've turned into much more of like a collector kind of mindset with it. I just love like the cool cards. Like recently they teased for the upcoming Hobbit set, Smaug the Magnificent, which is like a serialized card, but it's not actually serialized. It's definitely like the showcase card, but they're saying that, you know, they're only making like 500, but it's not actually serialized, which is, you know, I have mixed feelings about. But Lord of the Rings, as you can probably tell by the tapestry behind, if you can recognize it, is my favorite kind of universe of all time. And so my current goal that I've set is to get every single card in the actual Lord of the Rings set. I know at this point it is insanely expensive. I remember when it first came out though, I did buy a collector box and it was like $300, maybe $400 then, and now it's like I'm pretty sure 1,000-ish. You know, that is a pretty pricey goal as well, but I'm setting that goal pretty long term, and I think, you know, someday I will get there. With Lord of the Rings comes like the whole Universes Beyond. You know, at that point I thought it was, oh, like that's so cool, like they're including Lord of the Rings to Magic. Oh, that's insane. I don't remember what the first Universes Beyond was. Maybe it was that, because I remember that was somewhat close to, I think, March of the Machines. I feel like they've gone a little too far with it. They just kept going. It kind of got old for me at Spider-Man and Avatar. You know, I love Spider-Man, and I didn't watch Avatar as a child. I know it's like blasphemous, but I did like watch it in my adult age, I guess, and I did really enjoy it. The new mechanics that were introduced, like the bending. At that point, like, I feel like they were just kind of going too far with it. And like what really broke the final straw for me was when they made like the Dwight Schrute card. Like they made Office. I know it was like Secret Lair. They're just going a bit wild with this. The lore of Magic is something that really like enthralled me. So it's kind of a bummer to see all of these kind of sets, which, you know, at this point it feels like cash grabby. I don't know. It's an interesting landscape at this point, but I'm pretty sure you could find hundreds of opinions that are probably similar or opposite to it. I feel like I understand the argument of Universes Beyond, which is like, you know, it's so cool to bring other things into it. Once again, like Lord of the Rings, they brought that into it. I was ecstatic. I loved that. That was like such a great combination for me. Is it going to be meta to play Dwight Schrute and like Patrick Star and like Optimus Prime? That to me just feels a bit bizarre, and it feels like they're kind of losing what Magic was for sure. The other side of it is like, well, adding all these different kind of universes, Avatar, Spider-Man. There were multiple people where I met at a pre-release who were just, yeah, you know, I saw that there was Spider-Man cards and I was really interested, so I started. These Universes Beyond can actually get new people to play, and I think that's great. I think this is a fantastic game that everyone should try at least. I know it can be very daunting and complicated, and the learning curve it's up there. With that, like going into the future of Magic, I don't think they're gonna stop. I think it's too profitable for them. They're starting to hear community feedback like, you guys are going too far, because Secrets of Strixhaven came out. I'm pretty sure it was extremely successful. I wasn't able to go to the pre-release. I haven't bought any packs of it, nor have I gotten any new cards, but like the cards I have seen are really cool. The prepared mechanic I think is really interesting. I know there's another mechanic, cast this and then at your every upkeep it'll cast again or something like that, which I do know they had back like way back when. It was a different keyword, but I don't remember what it was exactly. But yeah, so like I don't think they're gonna stop, but I hope they tone it down at least. More recently I've been getting into these books, Stormlight Archives, like the Cosmere of Brandon Sanderson. They made a Universes Beyond of Stormlight Archives or Mistborn, or I guess those two specifically, just because, you know, those are I think the two largest series of the Cosmere. I'm buying that in an instant. That's something I would fold. I would collapse to. That's an instant buy for me. Yeah, they're gonna continue to make Universes Beyond for sure. Low-key, it's feeling like Fortnite. You're about to play a deck where you have Peter Griffin as your commander, Optimus Prime, one of the My Little Pony characters or horses, or it's a bit bizarre. And you know, I think there's comedy to it. I think it's a little funny to make those kinds of decks. This is getting a little out of hand. I mean, yeah, that's kind of where I feel like things are going, things will go. For me personally, my like dream, I think, is to just have like a very thorough, organized collection of Magic cards. There's something about that, like maybe it's the Smaug in me, dragon sickness that I want to collect everything. If I have a choice between a cool looking card or like, you know, the basic art, I'm probably gonna go for the cool looking card. You know, that's where I'm at with things. Yeah, in the future, I want there to be more lore based, more actual Magic the Gathering universe based sets and cards, and I guess elaborations in a way. You know, honestly, if they made another Kobolas Ugin kind of dilemma set conflict, I think that would be so cool. I don't know how realistic that'll be, but you know, Nicobolas being my first card, and oddly enough, you know, my favorite character in the universe, like I think it'd be so cool for them to bring him back in a way. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I got into Magic, where I'm at with it now, where I want it to go, kind of my thoughts on the whole landscape of things, and where I think it's going to go as well. Yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. If you got any feedback or advice or things you want me to try out, look into, play maybe, I think it'd be great if you'd comment that and come back to whatever video I make next.